everybody. It's Melissa Martinez with the Pulaski County Health Department here again. And it is Friday, so you know what that means. It's Fit Friday.
Yep.
We're talking all things fitness. So today I have the pleasure of sitting down with one of my dearest friends, Rebecca Ito. I've been running with Rebecca for several years, and Rebecca is just a neat person. She's got an amazing story that we're going to talk about today. But I'm going to remind you that our Battle of the Bands coming up on August 14th is an event designed to promote addiction recovery, prevention, and awareness. So in light of that, our Fit Fridays. Sorry, we're enjoying our coffee here by Starbucks today.
And my pink drink.
Yep. So in light of that, we're going to focus on some athletes that have used movement, specifically running, in their recovery. But we're also going to be talking about how there shouldn't be a stigma with it, how addiction happens to lots and lots of people. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something to rise above and to use your story to help others.
Yes.
So that being said, Rebecca, let's talk about what you're doing now, and then we'll go back.
Okay.
Tell me about 2 years ago when you and I met.
Right, we met at Ultra Sweaty Santa,
Which is coming up on
next
the 17th.
week. Plug in. Anyway, we met there, and I had just started back on my fitness journey. I had taken like a 6-year break and finally decided I'd had enough of that, and that's where we met. And I was barely able even to walk a 5K, but I did it, and then since then our relationship has completely grown, and she's just one of the best people I know.
Well, and we've learned a lot about each other, and I didn't know. I actually found out a couple weeks ago that Rebecca was recovering. It was alcohol. Was that your drug of choice?
Actually, I did everything except shoot up. That's the only thing that I never tried because I was terrified of needles and I couldn't. Had the opportunity to try it, but I'm petrified of needles, so I just never did. That's the line I never crossed.
Well, thank God for that, because that seems to be one that's hard to come back from.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. How old were you, and what was the first drug that you tried?
My first drug was marijuana.
Gateway drug, right?
Yep.
That's what they say.
It was,
Yeah.
and that was, goodness, I was probably about 14 years old when I did that, and then, I pretty much did use marijuana, for years, and then after I got out of the Army, I didn't use it while I was in the Army because you can't, but I was in the Army for 3 years, and once I got out of there, then I started using marijuana again, and then it just spiraled. I just started using everything, and drinking too. I don't know if I was completely an alcoholic. I was kind of a binge drinker on the weekends because I worked during the week, and it just progressed from there. I was using meth by the time I finally finished, and acid and everything.
Wow. Now, you and I've talked about too, there was a lot of, we won't go into details, but a lot of times trauma in people's lives will drive them to do stuff, and you had quite a bit of trauma in your life.
I have had quite a bit of trauma in my life, and it did. That's what I'm sure led me to start using substances, because I didn't want to deal with it and talk about it or whatever. I wanted to hide it all and bury it as deep as I possibly could. Kind of still do a little bit, but I'm working on that. Hence this video, sitting down with you and actually
amazing.
Talking about it. But there was, just without going into detail, there was a lot of sexual abuse in my life, and so that led to the drug use and alcohol use.
Well, and this is what I love, that we're sitting down and having this conversation, because so many people will keep it a secret, and keeping it a secret and not letting it out perpetuates the cycle of abuse.
It does.
So, we need to talk about it, not have any shame about it, because, things happen. Life is not easy. Things just happen to people, and, you use your story to help others. So, let's talk about then, now, you were a single mom for a lot of years too. That was real tough.
It was, and when you're trying to raise 3 children all by yourself with no help, and dealing with that in life, and I was not the best mother.
Yeah.
I thank God my children actually turned out really well, and they're contributing members of society and wonderful people now. But it also helped me to become a better mother this time with Samiko.
Who is her adopted daughter? She got a second chance at the whole thing.
I did.
You're in a wonderful marriage now. Things are wonderful, and you've got a daughter that's so cute, and everybody loves her. You guys
She's
see her at some
amazing.
of our races. She's so stinking cute. We love her.
Yes, she told me this morning she changed her mind and she's going to try to start running again.
Yay! We always love that.
I know.
So now let's talk about this. So your life, I have seen you in the last 2 years. To say that you've made a transformation would be a total understatement. Because I've seen
Yep.
you transform physically,
Yep.
but as being one of your coaches, and thank you for allowing me to be your coach.
I'm so glad you are.
Yeah,
Are.
I've gotten to see you've transformed spiritually, emotionally,
I have.
mentally. I mean, it's a package
Everything.
deal.
Yes.
But all that was started because of your exercise program.
Right.
I mean, the running.
The running.
Got your self-esteem back.
Yes.
It just reshaped your whole body and your frame of mind, and
It did,
got you an accountability group.
which is the best thing to have. And I
Mhm.
would recommend for everyone is to have a group of people to do things with because it made a total difference in my life. Plus, they're my therapists.
Well, yeah. Now,
I'm not advocating
disclaimer:
not.
we are not trained therapists. We
No.
simply listen to one another's problems. We have a group of girls that we
Yes.
like to joke about. It's our therapy group. But we do listen, and we do try to do our best, and we don't judge. We just talk about things. But now you started. I remember 2 years ago, like you said, you could barely do a 5K.
Right.
I mean, you walked it. It was tough. It took you over an hour.
Good Lord, yes. It took me about an hour and a half to finish a 5K.
Yeah. So for that person out there starting, just remember Rebecca's working on. She's done several half marathons. She's done a 50K.
I have.
She's getting ready to do the Bass Pro Marathon in November, which she went straight from a half marathon to a 50K. I wouldn't suggest that. She kind of
I don't recommend it at all.
skipped the marathon in between, but she's getting ready to do all that. But for the person out there that is looking at her that doesn't know her backstory, this is one of the reasons I thought it was extremely important to share, because I saw Rebecca on day one. I literally saw her on the day she
did.
came back with a friend,
Yes.
and you were definitely struggling. You were
I
on the pain
was.
train, and then you did a 5K a couple weeks after that, and you injured your knees.
I had actually broken my knee during, playing basketball with 20-year-olds.
I don't advocate that.
I don't
Go ahead.
advocate that either, but and I don't remember what 5K it was, but I had I finally ended up walking that
It was
as
the
well.
CMC one downtown.
Yeah,
I
it
think,
was
yeah.
at the park, and
Mhm.
I was in agony, but I was bound and determined I was going to finish it, and I did.
You did. You stuck with it,
Mhm.
and then she got herself involved with a run group, which is I would highly encourage that, to get in with an accountability group, whether that be a run group, a cross training group, any type of group where you're doing movement. Because one of the keys to recovery is movement. Now we
Yes.
don't obviously you need to keep doing what you're doing with your 12-step program.
You do.
Whatever you're doing. This is just an additional tool in your belt. Movement is just an additional tool to help you.
Well, it continues to help
Recover.
me because, I don't ever have the urge really to use drugs again. I was also a heavy smoker for years.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
So, every once in a blue moon that'll kind of rear its like, hey, and I just ignore it. But I can say that the running has also helped me with the drinking, because I rarely drink anymore. I joke about it and
Right,
say, I'm
right.
going to go have this big margarita, and people assume that I drink a lot, but I
that. She doesn't.
You know
She
that.
drinks a lot of coffee. I mean,
I
a
do.
lot of coffee.
But it continues to help with that too, because
Yeah.
if I'm going to go out there and get drunk and drink a lot of alcohol, then I can't run with my
Nope.
friends, and that's never going to happen.
No, that's definitely more important. So I love that. So it's a combination of everything.
Yes.
And the movement feels good because you got all these feel good chemicals.
Yep, that helps with the mood. Instead of
Mhm.
using mood enhancers, the endorphins and the adrenaline from running or working out or whatever exercise you choose to do. That helps, I think.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with it. It's a combination thing. We had Ed Green on here last week, and Ed
Right.
runs with us. Matter of fact, we all just ran together on Saturday.
We did.
And Ed and I were talking about the accountability part of it and getting in with a group.
Yes.
And just
And I think if any of us saw any of us straying or going in a weird direction, or our moods changed and we started acting strange or whatever, the accountability people to have you there, I know you would come and say, what's wrong with you? Why is your demeanor changed? What's going on
why
with
have you missed run group?
Yeah, why haven't you been there? What is going on? And so that's really important as well, to have people that you do things with, I think. as long. It's probably been about 20 years for that. Yeah, right after David and I got smoking, but 30 years for the drugs.
Would you say though that food replaced that? Because we're talking about addiction here, and we always feel food, but I know you want to talk about that. A lot of times people will take one addiction and replace it.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. I still struggle with food, and I will probably always struggle because I'm not, I'm a binge. If I completely restrict myself, then I'm just going to binge.
Right.
So, I follow a healthy diet. I try to do the best that I can, but sometimes I lapse.
Well,
I'm always going to do that.
Yeah, we're always going to.
But just know that it's okay, and you just kind of say, okay, stop that, put that cookie down, and
Well, food's the one thing that we have to have. I mean, we
We do.
cannot live without food. You can live without, other substances and get away from drugs, but you can't get away from food. But the discipline that you gain in running carries over into the discipline
It does.
with eating.
Yes, it does.
That's why it's such a remarkable recovery.
Yep.
Yeah. It's no secret.
I've just replaced all of that stuff with
Yes.
running now.
Well, yeah.
That's my drug of choice now.
Well, it's free.
I know.
Well, kind of. Your entry fees, I forgot. Guys,
Well,
it costs a lot.
and
It does
and
with
except for the
shoes
shoes, that I
shoes
just
can
bought
cost
today.
a lot. Yeah, and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's
To
it's
actually
pretty
run
cheap.
is free.
Yeah, running's free.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we got that out of the way. But speaking of being cheaper, we put on a lot of free events.
We do.
And so the next event is actually, we're going to talk about this real quick, is Ultra Sweaty Santa. The day that we met 2 years ago, we met on the course of Ultra Sweaty Santa.
We did.
Which is our 6-hour ultra that provides. It's a free race, but we ask that you bring packed shoe boxes that will be distributed to Operation Christmas Child, and they'll pick them up in November and ship them out all over the world, which is amazing.
Yep.
That's another thing about running too, is that it gives you a purpose, and anytime you have
does.
a purpose, because usually the races are for charity or they're for something. They're always
Something.
working
It's
towards
not.
something.
It's not just for people to put money in their pocket. It's usually supporting something, which is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, thank you so much for
You're
sharing your
welcome.
story. Battle of the Bands is coming up on August 14th. We're going to
Yes.
have lots of other people sharing their testimonies about how they've gotten clean, what works for them. We'll have people there, resources. If you've got questions, if you just want to reach out and see where you can find help, it's August 14th, and it'll be at the St. Robert Community Center. There's more information on our Healthy Futures Pulaski County page, and also on our Pulaski County Health Center page. I got a lot of pages.
I know, a lot of pages.
A lot of pages, but thanks for
You're welcome.
thanks for sitting down with me, girl.
Sure.
You guys, I just love this girl, and I can't wait for
I love you too.
for the 17th. We're gonna have so much
Oh
fun.
my God, it's going to be hot, but hey, there's
gonna
a
be
river
fun.
right there after we're done. So
Yeah, and remember, guys, if you're watching this, and if you're an addiction yourself, or maybe somebody in your family is, and you need help, remember that there is hope. Just reach out to somebody. Reach out to us at the health department. We can direct you to a resource, and just don't give up. Okay. So, anyways, happy Friday.
happy Friday.
Have a wonderful weekend, guys.
Bye.
Bye.